Hey Giri Nandini Nandita Medini Vishwa Vinodini Nandanute Girivara Vindya Shirorini Vasini Vishnu Vilasini Jishnunute Bhagavat Hi Siti Kanta Kutumbini Bhuri Krute Jaya Jaya He Mahishasuramardini Ramya Kapal Dili Shaila Sute Suravara Varsani Durdara Darshani Durmukamar Shani Harsharate Tribhuvana Poshani Shankara Toshani Kilvishamoshani Gosharate. Hi all. Good morning. Sometimes you just have to wake up and perform your spiritual duty regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of what actually, just regardless of what, if you were charged with a particular duty, then you should just do it and get it over with, right? So we are on the sociology of family, and we've been talking yesterday about how important it is to develop a strong, sound, spiritually, morally sound family, and what that actually entails, and the work and the healing that actually goes into getting yourself ready or prepared at a mental and emotional level for actually receiving, before getting into a relationship, a healthy relationship, and before preparing to create a family, right? Meaning becoming emotionally and mentally prepared to receive a soul, right, for your body, whether you're male or female, right? Well, females, but males as being the support to the female, right? What it actually takes from a healing angle, from a generational healing angle, to get your mind and emotions in a state that would be conducive to the receipt of a whole new soul. What is the mental and emotional preparedness, right, to get you ready to create a healthy family? So we've been discussing these things and going through this entire healing journey. From the start of my healing journey, my videos were subject to a lot of ridicule and mockery and laughter and so on, because people didn't understand what was my purpose here and why I was speaking things out into the public domain, right? Why I needed to speak things out into the public domain, right? And why I needed to actually go through this whole healing process, which was a healing from the generational fuckery, right? I'll repeat that, and I don't care who say what about me cursing and whatever, right? It was a process of healing from not one generation. It wasn't personal healing, right? Like I say, this is not something I am doing for me, right? Rest assured that this is not a selfish process that I've been going through, right? It's not something I've been doing for me, right? If I wanted to do things for me, I would have stayed in my government job and enjoyed my government salary and buy all the nicest clothes and continue to have no problem continuing paying my mortgage and so on. I wouldn't have a problem with all these things. I would have happily stayed in my job, received my salary, and continue to serve the dark forces of the world, right? I wouldn't have healed myself. I would have continued doing the do's, doing the regular do's of the world, going to that dark job, coming home, going to watch a movie with my friends, going to a bar, drinking some rum and so on, buying clothes, engaging in retail therapy, right? I would have been happy and content doing all these things, right? And this is what the people who would have mocked me after I left my job to sell doubles on the street, right? After I would have left that and started doing these videos, which is my spiritual duty actually, right? All these steps that I have taken for the greater good, right? In sacrificing my own self. But I am not willing to sacrifice. I will sacrifice everything in this. I'm not going to sacrifice myself, right? I am not going to die before I actually do what I came here to do, right? Because I'm guessing that the idea was to get me to just sacrifice everything and then sacrifice myself. I do not agree to be Jesus' son, right? I do not agree to be Jesus, right? Or the version of the Jesus that was sold to you all. I do not agree to be the version of Jesus Christ, the self-sacrificial lamb, the false version of Jesus that was sold to you all, right? I am not agreeing to be that. I am sorry, right? If I have to live 15 more years and do this bullshit and come here and tell people to leave the fucking government and stop eating meat, right, for 15 fucking years, well, so be it, right? So be it, right? Because the fact is that everybody know. And going back to this whole education thing, as we linking it with family, right? Going back to this whole education thing. I actually come from a family of teachers, boy, right? A family of teachers. And just like how I realized that I don't really have no family and thing, especially after a police raid, and the emotional thing that I going through after them police raided my home with 8 earlier just ganging up on me, I alone home, backing me in the corner of my own house, boy, right? After I been through that, and then everybody around me silent, and I realize that I don't have no friends and I don't have no family, right? Because nobody actually just be willing to stand up for me like I willing to stand up for them, right? Nobody is willing to open their mouth and stand up for me like I just be willing to open my mouth and stand up for them, right? So that's why I realized I don't have no friends and I don't have no family in this game of life, right? And second thing that reassured me that I don't have no friends and no family in this game of life, I'm talking about actual family being people who stand for what I consider family. I not using this term loosely again, right? You see the word friend and family, I not using them terms loosely again, right? Family being someone who willing to call my name, right? Say it, right? If you want to call yourself my family and whatever, right? Say, because rest assured the same thing would have happened, the same thing probably happened to you, right? The same thing that happened to me probably happened to you, right? I willing to come and talk about it, are you, right? So I have no friends and family in this game, right? The second thing that makes me realize I have no friends and family is the fact that the Ministry of Education, for 8 years I was assessed, right? I was already assessed as a teacher 3, right? And I come from a family of teachers, right? A family of teachers. Everybody in my family is teachers, right? Principals, teachers, everything. I was the only one happened to be, and I actually desire it from the bottom of my heart, right? It's something that I felt like was my calling to do. Not for no money and thing. I look at fuck off for the salary and shit, right? I do business for that, right? To me, once as I have a little bit of food to eat and a couple things to wear, I actually am very content and happy with my life, right? I am very content and happy with my life, right? My actual desire is to create impact, and that is why that's why I applied for teaching, right? And it doesn't get better than that in terms of having somebody who could actually, who because that's a rare thing, right? I know myself well enough to know that I am a rare human being at this point in life, right? And this is not a boast, it's just the truth. This is not a boast, it's just the truth, right? And because the things that I am willing to do, not many people are willing to, right? So I was actually one of the people who was willing to actually take a spot in your system and not be concerned about anything else but actually create an impact, right? I don't want no fame, I don't want no glory, I don't want anything like that, right? All I wanted was for my application to be processed and called, right? 8 years I have been waiting, boy, right? And in addition to that, I come from a family lineage of teachers, right? Everybody in my family is teachers. And that is why I realized that I don't have no friend and family in this game again, because nobody try to make or stand up. People in the Ministry of Education, right? This, that. Nobody actually, and I suffered in that shit ass ministry government job that I was in, right? And all they telling me, oh, well, stick it out, right? Stick it out as your job, right? Stick nothing, right? Stick nothing, right? I've been suffering doing things that you all teach me not to do. Like, I every month going around collecting freaking prices in the grocery with Arawak chicken, this great food, ham, this collecting prices of meat, right? For some shit ass bullshit survey that not making no sense, right? The division that I worked in makes no sense whatsoever, right? And everybody who works in a division or worked in a division that I worked in know that the work does not make sense. But I need my money to take care of my child. I need my money to go online with my man. I need my money to pay my mortgage. I need my money to buy all the nice makeup I want to buy. I need my money, right? Yeah. I'm not on that, right? I am not on that, right? So to the people who was like, oh, stick it out in these economic times, in these dark economic times, you leaving your job and oh, this is the only thing, right? Who does give up the government job in this time, right? Who does give up? Who does give up the government job in this economic times, right? Who given up a safe and secure salary, right? Well, I had to give up my salary in order to get to the point where I could deal with all your generational fuckery, right? I had to give up, and this is from all kind of family I'm talking about. Earthly family, spiritual family, right? Because I was exposed to all earlier, right? So the reason I had to give up my government job was so that I could actually deal with all your generational fuckery, right? Fix the things that you all didn't fix, so that my generation and the generations going forward could actually be healthy and moral human beings, right? It wasn't for me leaving my government job. This is for all the people who had all the comments to make now back then, right? Me leaving my job had nothing to do with what I wanted to do personally, right? Even me being involved in all the relationships I was in, right? Well, in hindsight, it really didn't have anything to do with what I wanted to do personally, right? Because in hindsight, there was a grand reasoning behind it all. In hindsight, there was a grand reasoning behind it all, right? So, right, sociology of family, right? And that grand reasoning behind it all was was all leading up to my actual purpose here, right? The grand reasoning of it all was leading up to my actual purpose here, right? Now, people might listen to my thing and say, oh, well, this is the New World agenda. This is, and think that I am the Antichrist and all that kind of nonsense, or being used by the Antichrist something, right? Let me tell you all something, right? The spirit of the true Christ, the spirit of the true Christ will appear as the Antichrist, right? I'll say that again. The spirit of the true Christ will appear as the Antichrist to those who do not have the eyes to see and ears to hear, right? I will repeat that one more time. The message and the spirit of the true Christ will appear like the Antichrist to those who don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, right? And I received a specific message, spiritual message the other day, right? That message was that many fake Christians will despise you, right? Many fake Christians will despise you. And that is primarily for the reason that the spirit of the true Christ will appear to the ignorant as though it is the Antichrist, right? The Antichrist and the Christ, as I always say, was here yesterday. The Antichrist and the Christ is here today, and the Antichrist and the Christ will be here tomorrow, right? There's no coming of Antichrist and they stage this and stage that, right? And stage alien invasion and stage and coming down of the Galactic Federation. Sad to say, but you will have to be real dumb to be falling for that kind of nonsense, boy, right? That is the new age, new order bullshit that they want you all to fall for. Oh, one day you will see the Galactic Federation descending, right? And blah blah blah, right? That is the nonsense that they're trying to train up your head with, so that you don't take in the true message, right? The true message of Jesus Christ, loved ones, right? The true message of Jesus Christ is simply put, not to cause harm to others and to withdraw yourself from organizations that do. Now, there's a reason I am doing this here, right? And it all has to do with karma, cause and effect, right? Natural law principles. I would have served immoral systems for 15 years, and maybe I just have to serve God for the next 15 years to burn away this flicking karma, right? And that's how it works, right? That is how it works, right? And that's why not everybody is going to make it this wrongs, right? Not everybody is going to make it, because some of us have not awakened to the fact that, hey, I have been the work that I've been doing, right, is not moral work, right? The work that I've been engaged in is work that serving a force, right? Is serving a force that does not function in the best interest of the people, right? Is serving a force that does not function in the best interest of the people, right? Many don't come to this realization, right? Or either they know this and refuse to take action, right? It's either they know this and they refuse to take action. Now, I will repeat this over and over until it drills into the head of at least one person, right? In order to create a sound, stable family, you have to have a sound, stable mind. I actually have never met someone working at the government who have a sound, stable mind, right? I have never met someone. I used to think my ex had one because he actually to me was the most stable one in our relationship emotionally and all that, right? But you can't be eating meat and thing, boy, and saying and admitting that you're doing the wrong thing, right? You can't be admitting that you're doing the wrong thing and still don't want to make the attempt to change now, right? So that can't be sound, right? That can't be sound, right? You might be sound in some ways, right? And I still working on my soundness too, right? But you can't be knowing something is wrong in your heart and soul, right? And not be taking action against it, right? So the creation of a sound and stable family, right, depends on you looking yourself in the mirror and being willing to change, right? And that's why this thing, and people might call me a new agenda person by saying this, right? But this is the reality, right? On some stone somewhere, right, they had carved on the thing that maintain the population under 500,000 or something like that, right? Whatever the figure is, I don't care, right? But maintain the population at a certain amount to maintain humanity in a perpetual balance with nature, right? There's a reason for that, because there's only so much that nature could take, really, right? Now, I believe that all of us could actually survive here, right? I believe that all of us could survive here if we choose to do the right thing, right? All of us could fit, all of us could eat, all of us could actually do the right thing, right? All of us could enjoy the pleasures and the enjoyment of this earth, right? This might sound like a far-fetched idea to some, but it is very possible, right? It is very possible. All it takes is for people to not be fucking greedy, but all it takes is for people to not be greedy, right? And I'm not talking about redistributing wealth like in a communist state or anything like that in a pal, right? Capitalism and communism, for in case you all don't know, capitalism and communism is the exact same thing, because it deals with the select group of few people. The procedure is different, but it's the same human authority control, right? It's the same human authority control, right? So what we are actually propagating is radical action, is taking action, right, in the interest of true freedom, right? Taking moral action, which is action in the interest of true freedom, right? In the interest of true love, in the interest of true freedom, right? And this is something that has been existing from time immemorial. This is something that people have incarnated over and over and over and over, right? Any of the true messengers and things that you all saw, right? Any of them ever had a government job, right? Or you ever see any of them having a government job? The people who would have, Jesus Christ who came by them, he would have disappeared for X amount of years, right? He would have disappeared for X amount of years, right? And it had no record of that. Rest assured that he wasn't working on no government job for those years, right? He wasn't working on any government job for those years, right? He would have disappeared and went to seek knowledge of self, right? Seek self-knowledge. He would have disappeared from society, right? And gone on his own to seek knowledge of self, right? And half of you all who fake ass religious people here, Hindus, Christians, Muslim, everybody, because the Jesus concept is one that is widespread, right? Everybody is familiar with the Jesus concept. Everybody know and believe that Jesus was here and walked the earth and walked on water and this and that, right? You can't be working in a government job and working on a government job and working on water at the same time, right? It doesn't work like that, right? It doesn't work like that. And the message of Christ, the true message of Christ, right, is that you could actually become the Christ, right? You could become the Christ. There's no need to go through me. There's no need to pass through me to attain the Father. There's no need to go through me to access God, right? So we're talking about the sociology of family, right? The spiritual family is the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And you could actually become Father, Son, Holy Spirit as one being, right? You through the alignment with spiritual law and through harmonizing and balancing your energies and so on, you could become the entire Trinity on your own, right? You can become the entire Trinity on your own. And this is a far-fetched idea. People might think this is narcissistic. People might think this is vain. People might think this is all kind of thing, right? But this is actually what the true Christ came and taught, right? This is a message, and this is a message from different philosophies across the world, right? That through self-empowerment, you can become it, right? You can become it, and it's not from a position of superiority. It's not from a position of vanity. It's not from a position of I thinking I'm better or you thinking you are better than anybody else. It is simply from the perspective of self-empowerment and teaching others to empower themselves as well, right? Is self-empowerment, independence, and true freedom, and teaching others to attain their own self-empowerment, attain their own love from within, and attain their own freedom right here, right now on this earth, right? That is what the message is about. And only when you recognize this, then you're actually in a healthy space to create a family, right? Otherwise, you're just going to be repeating the same old bullshit over and over and over again, right? Let your children go to the same bullshit schools that you hated. Letting your children go to the same government jobs that you hated, boy, right? I don't want to go through that, right? If I have a child, right, and which I might, because I don't know if I gone through all this madness that I went through just for nothing, right? It probably was for a reason, right? So if I do have a child, right, what kind of parent I would be if I come here and preaching against all these things, right? And preaching natural laws and whatever, and then sending them to a government job, right? That kind of thing, right? So this is why I had to leave my job to go through this whole healing process for people who didn't understand this process, right? So this is a bitter pill to swallow for most, to realize that, hey, for all my life I've been actually doing the wrong thing, right? And I may have to reincarnate and relearn these whole lessons over and over again if I don't learn it now, right? It's a bitter and hard pill for many people to swallow, right? It is a bitter and a rough pill, right? Because at some point we need to admit that we were conned by the system, right? We were conned by the system. I have no problem admitting these things, right? Because I have no problem looking myself in the mirror. It have many things that I didn't like about myself. I think that I had to look myself in the mirror to have a couple things I still don't like on myself, like how I just cuss like fucking win, right? I don't necessarily like that about myself, so it's something that I may have to change, right? It's something that I may have to change, and I will change on time, right? It's just that is very angering, right? To come here and be knowing what you are talking about is actually true, and then fucking YouTube and all have me on restricted mode, right? YouTube have my last video. I never set no settings on YouTube and thing with my comments. I see they put me on restricted mode, right, with comments and thing. Man, I do give a shit when anybody comment about my videos, right? I don't care when nobody comments, but it's best I don't see all your comments anyhow, right? It's best I don't see all your comments, because half of the comments going to be some bullshit story, and I know what I am saying is the factual thing, right? And I ain't able to tell you to comment no kind of stupidness, right? Because you all know the nature of the world that we live in, right? People who are hypocritical to the bloody core, right? Hypocrisy runs in the blood of 99% of the population. Hypocrisy runs in the blood of 99% of the population. So I rather be unpopular, I rather chill, right? I rather chill out and not read all the comments, right? The solutions that we are presenting here is permanent solutions, right? It's permanent family solutions, right? It's solutions to building a free society is solution to building a healthy family, is solutions to building a true moral family. Right? That is the solutions that we are presenting here. It's not no wishy-washy solutions. It's solid, grounded, honest, upright, morally upright, right? And not upright by what your religion say, right? Not things like, oh, Jesus the way to go and drink a beer, and Jesus the way to drink some rum and things like that, right? We're not on that kind of pettiness, right? Jesus turned water into wine. Jesus would have turned water into wine, right? We just drink the blood of Jesus, right? So Jesus wouldn't be like, oh, don't drink a little bit of rum, right? You could drink how much rum you want, son. Just don't go and cuss your wife and get on like a jackass, right? And don't pull no cutlass and no gun and no kind of nonsense for nobody. Otherwise, you do what you want. It's your body, it's your life, right? We're talking about morality from the perspective of actually causing harm to other human beings, right? Talking about morality from the perspective of hey, my job is telling me that I need to go upon a street and wipe out everybody who's trying to make a living from that street, right? That is immorality, right? Immorality is going and arresting a man out there because of how he looking, right? Going and arresting him because he have 2 grams of marijuana in his pocket. That is immoral, right? That is immoral. Immorality is raiding people's homes, right? And you don't even have a fucking warrant to do it, man. You don't even have a warrant, right? It's pretending he's a big bad bully with one karma coming here till you can't even handle it, right? That is all part of being an immoral human being, right? So this is a message, and the sad thing is that people would listen. Like I've been monitoring my own TikTok. I didn't post a TikTok video in a while, but I've been monitoring my own TikTok and thing, right? And certain posts I post, and I could see who like my love my post and thing, right? So certain posts I post, you see a certain ethnicity like it down from a side. Certain posts I post, another ethnicity like it down from a side, right? But nobody is willing to say, hey, let me look at this thing from all angles, right? Let me work my left and right brain together, right? Let me actually utilize 2 brain cells instead of 1, right? And see something, right? That's why I say a lot of people will be going tizzic or crazy when you look at my videos, because they wouldn't know what is what, right? Unless you actually functioning or seeing things from a different, able to see things from a perspective that is beyond your cultural and social conditioning, you're going to have a serious problem with my videos, right? That's why I see people fluctuating, 302 subscribers, and 301, then 300, my subscribers dropping like flies, right? So, but and viewership too, but I don't really care about these things, right? I don't really care about these things. I am not here to lead any new world religion. I am here to speak the truth, right? I am not here to lead any new world, one world religion, right? I am just here to offer the same solutions that from time immemorial, all the messengers of the divine were actually talking. I just doing it, and I just cussing with it, right? I just doing it with a little cuss in between, right? That is all. So we talking about family, right? Father and mother, I love you, right? This is what family means, right? What does love do, right? Baby, don't hurt me. What is love? I think I dropped my paper. Love is not any mushy romantic feeling, right? Love is not any mushy romantic feeling, right? True love is agape love, right? True love is agape love. Love for the cosmos. Love for the highest good and the freedom of all of mankind, right? That is agape love, right? Agape love is the love for freedom and the love for humanity, and wanting the freedom for all of humanity, right? It's not selfish love. It's not a love that is concerned about me only, right? It's not a love that is concerned about you only, my romantic partner, right? It's not a love that is concerned about us only, right? It's a love that operates on a level of desiring the highest good for every single individual on the face of this planet, right? It's a love that is desiring the highest good for everybody on the face of this planet, right? And that's why some of us are willing to speak till the day that we die, right? That's why some of us are willing to speak until the day that we die about simply doing the right thing, right? About simply doing the right thing. Regardless of how much people watch our videos or how much people don't watch our videos, right? Regardless of if I have 159 subscribers or if I have 301 subscribers, right? Regardless if I have 159,000 subscribers, sorry, right? Or if I have 300 subscribers, right? So this is a basis for starting a true family, right? This is the basis for starting a true family. Father and mother, I love you. That is what family stands for, right? Father and mother, I love you. But in order to understand or to have the brain power to understand what this type of love represents, you need to be functioning in a capacity. You need to be functioning in a capacity mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to really embrace and to understand what this concept means, right? Sociology of family.